Hi everyone, today I am here to talk about Sick Puppy by Carl Hiaasen. This is the first adult book by Carl Hiaasen that I have read. When I was a kid, I read Hoot, and I loved Hoot. And I feel like Hoot is maybe his best known work. I'm not positive, but that's just because I didn't even know that he wrote adult books. But yeah, I've read Hoot, I've read Flush, and I really liked both of them. This was all years ago, but I remember really enjoying them. So I saw this book, Sick Puppy, at a book, like a fill up a bag of books for $5 thing at the library. So really excited. I was like, oh, he's written adult books. That's fun. Gonna grab them. If you don't know anything about Carl Hiaasen, at least the books that I've read, and I feel like all of them kind of have like an environmental issue happening in the book. And, the heroes are trying to stop the animals from being hurt or the place from being developed, etc., etc. And that's kind of fun. I like it. I like that he has this theme kind of throughout all of his books. And I also feel like his characters are caricatures of over the top, like kind of caricatures and over the top versions of certain groups of people in America. Like in this book, there was like the lobbyist and the rich guy who thinks he's really cool because he goes hunting. And then there's the guy who is young, but he got a lot of money and he likes these two models that he's trying to make into like his perfect girls and things like that. But they're always, I feel like, kind of a little bit more than anyone might be in real life, like just a little bit more over the top. Like I said, they're kind of caricatures of different various groups of people in America or just like in the world in general, And I feel like that's always entertaining because it's always clear like who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And it's kind of really easy to tell. And I kind of like that, especially after reading Atlas Shrugged. I just kind of wanted a fun book that was easy, that was a bit ridiculous, but like enjoyable all the same. And I did like Sick Puppy. I feel like my main thing is that I actually didn't really like any of the characters specifically. The bad guys were definitely bad, but the people who are supposed to be the good guys, I feel like were a little bit too crazy for me. Like, I really do care about the environment and I really do care about animals, but I would not go and kidnap people and I would not go and break into their house, and I would, even people that, which has happened a lot like recently, even people that like throw paint on paintings in like the Louvre or other museums or like glue their hands to the painting. I'm like, what the F are you doing? Like, that's not helping anyone. That's just making people think that you're crazy. So that's kind of what I felt like. And I get it. Like, his good guy character, Twilly Spree, he is crazy. He is. But I feel like he was too crazy for me to really like either. So that was kind of weird. Like, there just wasn't any character. I was obviously still kind of like rooting for him because the bad guys were bad, but it just seemed a little too extreme for me. So, and I get that it's not a real story, but even then I was just like, this good guy isn't like the best. And they don't need to be the best. They can have flaws, but like he was just too crazy for me to even get on board with him. So yeah, that was just interesting. Like, it was still really well written. It was enjoyable. I read it pretty quickly. There's definitely like some funny scenes, but overall I was just kind of like, eh. I feel like I liked Hoot a lot more. Once again, I read that years ago. So it basically, the book is about some developer who's going to develop this place called Toad Island, and it's going to ruin the beauty and the nature. And of course it is, because whenever you build something, that's going to happen, no matter how much they promise, like, we're going to keep it natural, we're not going to destroy the animals' habitat, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's destroying their habitat built in there, like, no matter what you do, right? So, and Twilly Spree is trying to stop this from happening once he learns about it. So that's just kind of the gist of the book. Like I said, they always have an environmental edge. I would guess I would still suggest it if you like Carl Hiaasen's books and maybe you've never read one of his adult novels. Like I said, it was still enjoyable. It was fun. I definitely didn't keep it. There's a couple little like book box libraries, where people just leave their books in these little boxes on the street and you can come and take one, leave one. And so it wasn't good enough for me to keep. but it was still really enjoyable. If you like environmentalism, if you like I said, kind of crazy characters, over-the-top people, I would definitely check out Sick Puppy by Carl Hiaasen. And yeah, like I said, it's well written, easy to read, it's fast-paced, it's fun. I just couldn't get into it as much as other books because I didn't really like any of the characters. So yeah, that was Sick Puppy by Carl Hiaasen. I guess since it's about nature and environmentalism, my question will be, what is one of your favorite places to hang out in nature? And if you don't go out to into nature and go for walks regularly or unplug, I would highly suggest doing it because I feel like it's very, very good for mental health. Just in general, or just health in general. Getting outside of the house and unplugging is good for just any sort of health in general, So I'll go with one of the places where I live because there's so many places I love. Anytime I go out in nature, I'm like, this place is gorgeous. So I live in the Vegas area, Las Vegas area. So my favorite place here, nature-wise, is the wetlands and the wetlands wash. It's really nice to have this stretch of green with lots of birds, lots of bees and damselflies and dragonflies, and I've seen a couple of coyotes there as well. I feel like it's just really nice to have this good pocket of nature in the middle of Las Vegas. Well, it's not in the middle, it's on the east side, but still, I'm just very happy there's some nature here for me to retreat to when I need to and when the city annoys me, basically. So yeah, the wetlands of Las Vegas. If you're in Vegas, I would definitely suggest checking them out. It's a really nice area. They have paved paths there as well, so it's accessible for everyone. And it's just a really beautiful area, and it'll show you more of Vegas, than just the Strip. So I highly suggest it. Thank you so much for listening. Comment down below, do you have a favorite place in nature or just where you live? And thank you so much for listening. Like, subscribe, share if you know someone who likes books. Like I said, I try and post every Friday, but it honestly just depends on when I have time to read books. And Atlas Shrugged took me forever to read, and I felt like I just had to recover from that for a while. So yes, but thank you so much for listening, and y'all have a great day.